If you're one of the many retail investors riding the Palantir wave, you're probably glued to every price tick, news headline, and social media post about this AI powerhouse. Palantir Technologies, ticker PLTR, has been a roller coaster for investors, and today we're diving deep into the latest action. From the stock price moves in the last 24 hours to fresh news, retail sentiment, short interest, options activity, and what the big players on Wall Street are saying, we've got it all covered. Welcome to Stock Hub, your go-to place for the latest stock market news, analysis, and insights. Don't forget subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Okay, let's dive in. Let's kick things off with the stock price. As of the latest market close, Palantir is trading at around $125 per share. Over the past 24 hours, the stock has seen some volatility, with a slight dip of about 1.5% during regular trading hours. However, after-hours trading showed a bit of a rebound, with the stock ticking up by roughly 0.8%. This kind of choppy action isn't new for Palantir. Its high valuation and hype around AI keep it swinging. For those of you watching the charts, the stock is still hovering well above its 50-day moving average of around $110, which suggests the broader uptrend remains intact. But with a price-to-earnings ratio sitting at a jaw-dropping 222 times forward earnings, it's clear the market is pricing in massive growth expectations. Whether that's justified is the million-dollar question, and we'll dig into that as we go. Now, let's talk about what's moving the needle. In the last 24 hours, there's been some buzz around Palantir that's got investors talking. First, a fresh report highlighted Palantir's role in the AI data analytics space, positioning it as a leader among other tech giants. This comes on the heels of Palantir's continued push into commercial contracts, which have been a bright spot for the company. The report noted that Palantir's ability to secure high-value deals with both government and private sectors is fueling optimism, but it also flagged the stock's sky-high valuation as a potential risk. That's something to keep in mind if you're holding or thinking about jumping in. On the news front, there's chatter about Palantir's involvement in international markets, particularly in the Middle East. Analyst commentary from D.A. Davidson pointed out that CEO Alex Karp's recent participation in a high-profile visit to Saudi Arabia could open doors for new contracts. With the U.S. pushing AI initiatives in the Gulf region, Palantir's tech could find a new growth avenue. This is big because it signals the company's ability to expand beyond its traditional U.S. government contracts, which have been its bread and butter. There's also been some noise about a controversial $30 million contract with ICE for surveillance tech. While this strengthens Palantir's government portfolio, it stirred up debate online, with some praising the revenue potential and others raising ethical concerns. This kind of news can polarize sentiment, so let's see how retail investors are reacting. Speaking of retail investors, let's dive into the vibe on social media, specifically Reddit and X, focusing on posts from the last 24 hours. On Reddit, particularly in communities like r Wall Street Bets and r PLTR, the sentiment is a mix of die-hard optimism and cautious skepticism. One highly upvoted post on Reddit called Palantir the Tesla of AI, with users hyping its long-term potential in data analytics and government contracts. However, others in the same thread warned about the stock's lofty valuation, with one user saying, quote, PLTR at 222 times earnings is pricing in perfection. Any miss, and it's going to hurt. That sums up the split. The bulls are all in on Palantir's AI dominance, while the bears are nervous about a potential pullback. Over on X, the conversation is just as lively. A trending post from a popular retail investor account with thousands of followers praised Palantir's Saudi Arabia news, saying, "This is why PLTR is unstoppable. Global expansion is just getting started." Another user with a sizable following countered, pointing out the high short interest and valuation risks, tweeting, "Love the tech, but PLTR needs to grow into this price tag. Be careful out there." The sentiment on X leans slightly bullish, but with plenty of cautionary voices urging investors to temper expectations. What's clear is that Palantir remains a lightning rod for debate, with retail investors emotionally invested in its story. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Short interest and options activity. The latest data shows Palantir's short interest is still elevated, with about 7% of the float shorted. That's not as extreme as some other high-flying tech stocks, but it's enough to keep things interesting. Shorts are betting that Palantir's valuation is unsustainable, especially with its forward PE ratio in the triple digits. If the company delivers strong earnings or lands a blockbuster contract, those shorts could get squeezed, pushing the stock higher. On the flip side, any negative news could give them the upper hand. As for options activity, there's been some unusual action in the last 24 hours. Data from options trackers shows a spike in call buying, particularly for out-of-the-money contracts expiring next week. This suggests some traders are betting on a near-term pop, possibly tied to the Saudi Arabia buzz or expectations for upcoming catalysts. However, there's also been notable put buying at the $120 strike price, indicating hedges or bearish bets in case the stock pulls back. The options market is telling us that volatility is expected, so if you're playing options, keep your risk management tight. What are the big players saying? Wall Street's take on Palantir is mixed, with some fresh updates in the last 24 hours. A Yahoo Finance report cited analysts from RBC Capital Markets and Jefferies who flagged Palantir's valuation as a concern, with price targets of $40 and $60 respectively, well below the current price. They argue that at 80 times expected 2025 revenue, the stock is priced for perfection, and any stumble could lead to a sharp correction. On the other hand, William Blair's Louis De Palma remains optimistic, pointing to Palantir's recent ICE contract and potential Middle East deals as growth drivers. D.A. Davidson's Gil Luria, who holds a neutral rating, noted that as long as Palantir keeps delivering on fundamentals, the stock could maintain its momentum. Institutional activity is also worth noting. Hedge funds and large investors have been piling into Palantir, with recent filings showing increased stakes from elite funds. This suggests the smart money still sees upside, even if analysts are split. The combination of bullish institutional buying and cautious analyst outlooks creates a tug-of-war that retail investors need to navigate carefully. So, what does this all mean for Palantir? Let's recap. The stock is trading at $125 with some volatility in the last 24 hours, but holding its uptrend. News about potential Middle East expansion and a controversial ICE contract is keeping Palantir in the headlines, boosting its growth narrative but also sparking debate. Retail sentiment on Reddit and X is passionate, with bulls dreaming of AI domination and bears warning about valuation risks. Short interest at 7% and active options trading signal that volatility isn't going away anytime soon. Meanwhile, Wall Street analysts are split, with some seeing a bubble and others betting on Palantir's unique position in AI and government contracts. For you retail investors out there, the Palantir story is as compelling as ever, but it's not without risks. The company's ability to keep landing high-value contracts and grow its commercial business will be critical to justifying its premium valuation. The buzz around international expansion is exciting, but the high short interest and lofty PE ratio mean any misstep could lead to a pullback. On the flip side, if Palantir keeps executing, the bulls could have the last laugh. As we wrap up, let's take a step back. Palantir is a company that inspires strong emotions, whether it's the thrill of its AI potential or the anxiety of its high valuation. For retail investors, it's easy to get caught up in the hype, but staying grounded is key. The latest news shows Palantir is still a leader in the AI and data analytics space, with opportunities to grow globally. But the risks, valuation, short interest, and potential economic headwinds can't be ignored. Thanks for watching Stock Hub. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. See you in the next one.